5, a 6, a 7, a 8, a 1, 2, a 3, 4, a 5, 6, a 7, a 8, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a 1, 3, 4.
My name is Ray Mercer, and I am a native of Omaha, Nebraska, born and raised here. I was initially supposed to be a gymnast. Yeah, I was going to have a gymnastic career on my way to the Olympics, and I was introduced to dance by a friend, kind of fell in love with it. Studied in New Orleans, studied in New York, studied a little bit in Chicago, danced with a few companies, and eventually I landed in Chicago, and I auditioned for The Lion King in 2003. And I've been with The Lion King ever since, almost 20 years now. I've been very fortunate because I've been able to have a dual career on stage and choreographing. So for the last 15 years, I've been choreographing also. A little bit about the piece. It was initially, I had an initial plan for the piece, and I knew that I was coming probably 2 or 3 months before, I arrived, and initially I had this idea, and as time went on, I kind of fell out of love with the idea that I had. So about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks before I was supposed to come here, I was in the bar. I said, what am I going to do? And I had a conversation with a friend who went on a speed date. And so we talked about it, and I said, tell me a little bit about it. What was it like? What was your experience? And as we were having the conversation, I was kind of intrigued by, the physicality behind it all, the fact that you sit with the person for 5 minutes, ring a bell, and then switch. Then you meet a new person and switch. What that looked like. So I took that and ran with it. It's divided into 3 sections. The first section is the speed date itself. And then the second section is the one-on-one, the second date. And then the third section is what happens afterwards, if you choose to fall in love with the person or not, or, those things. It's kind of I'm always interested in 2 things when I choreograph, the conflict and the connection, so I always try to bring that to my work. I wanted to come in and really challenge the dancers and challenge their norms and what they're used to doing, and see what that would look like on their bodies and how that would transform in the space, all of that, how they react to the movement, how they dealt with the movement. And it was really transformative. It was really a really great experience. My work is very physical and it's very fast. And, it takes a little bit for sometimes the dancers to adjust to that and figure out how they're going to get through this process to create the results. So it's been great. They're fabulous dancers, technically proficient. They catch on quick. It's so easy. I was telling them yesterday, we had finished the piece in the first 2 sections, and yesterday I was working on the last section, and I got out of the car and I had no idea what I was going to do when I walked in the studio. I was like, oh God. But once I got in there and started working with them, they know me now, know how I work. We were able to finish that last section in 2 or 3 hours. And it doesn't always happen. It does not always happen. Processes are not always like this, and sometimes it's a little more difficult. And sometimes the dancer and the choreographer don't click, and you have to find a way to get the work done. But when it works out like this, it's a blessing. It is. Feels good to be able to have a process like this and be able to walk away from it feeling good about what had happened.
5, a 6, a 7, a 8, a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, 5, a 6, a 7, a 8, a 1, a 2, a 4, a 5, a 7, 8, a 1, 2, 4, a 5. That's nice. Here we go. Everybody had to work though. Administrative staff, dancers, choreographers, everybody was working. So I'm glad. It's going to be a great piece. I can't wait till Omaha sees it.